Chops Garage is proud to be sponsored by Car Vertical, the largest online database of vehicle information. Use the link in the description down below to find the true history of your vehicle or one you're about to buy.
Right, so that's the Skoda sold as well. They wanted to take it away straight away. Lovely, lovely people. And they had a few to see today, but they said, interestingly again, we've made this comment before, and they've been to other dealerships. Now, I can't blame these dealerships because everybody's not got inside room like me, but they said the other cars they looked at have been not very well presented, not very clean and tidy, not particularly friendly, snow over the cars, bad paintwork, not as described as they were. They said my car was actually better than it looked in the pictures, which is encouraging to hear. But a lovely lot of people went for a good test drive. They got lost, so they ended up taking quite a while, but I had a good chat with the young man they brought along with them. He was into cars, same as me, so we had a good old chat. Yeah, I mean, the comments were the same as mine, is that, you know, of the cars are driving with that 1.2 7-speed auto box, it's really smooth. The lady loved the drive of it. She had asked me about what was a better choice between the two of them. I said, to be honest, having driven them both to back, I prefer the change on the Fabia. I said, and also you're paying a premium for very low miles here, so if you're not bothered about low mileage, you might as well go for the Skoda, because that had still low mileage, isn't it? 50-odd thousand miles on it, and yeah, so it was a good little car for them. So off they go. I think they've got to go back to Bridgewater in that. But we got all the warranty registered straight away, got all the paperwork done. They did me a bank transfer. Thanks for that. I always explain to people, with the fees, they're quite willing to do a transfer to save me the fees. Nice people. So I gave them enough money back to fill the tank up on the car. So, you know, one good deed deserves another. Probably two balance each other out. So I'm probably not actually ahead, but I probably would have done both. So I guess I am ahead a bit. Obviously, like I said, the Discoveries, we've sent over the invoice for that as well, so that'll be going. So we've got a couple of cars shifted. Obviously, one full retail margin, one trade margin. But in terms of what we're putting back into the bank, we're putting in 6. We're putting in 19 grand back into the bank to buy the stock. Managed to get the S2000 photographed in between, but now I'm late to drop off the Ignis for the tyres. So I need to drop off the Ignis for the tyres to pick up the Kia Sportage, because I think that'll be a good bit of stock. Had a lady phoning me up. I've got a lady coming in tomorrow for the i20, potentially. She's booked in a viewing for the i20, wants to part exchange a VW van. Not so keen. I thought it was the Skoda she's coming to look at, but turns out I checked my messages with the i20, so I don't have to disappoint her and tell her that's sold. But the i20, yeah, she wants to part exchange a T30 VW van, which round my way, everybody loves the vans. But what we know about diesels is they normally get a part exchange when they've got a problem. So that does make me a little bit nervous. We'll have to see how that plays out. Anyway, let's get this Ignis off. So the Discovery's just gone. As it was sold spares or repair unroadworthy, it was picked up by a local garage to take it straight down for an MOT. Reminder, if you sell car spares and repair, you can't let customers drive them away. Otherwise it invalidates it, so they have to have them transported away. So that's gone straight down for MOT with the garage. Then the subscriber will come pick it up from the garage once it's MOT'd. So there's that gap between the two. I think obviously there's anything wrong with that car at all. It drove fantastic. I'd completely missed it had a full panoramic roof as well till we were looking at it yesterday. Such a lovely car to drive. Subscriber got a bargain there with that engine on. Yeah, right thing to do with me with so much on. So we've got a few cars come back. We've got the Kia Rio come back from Moores. So that's got its new MOT. So now it needs a good clean up. So we can put it up for sale. We'll have a quick look at what it cost. So the Kia Rio, because this is the one we got from BCA with a very small margin on it, wasn't it? So in the end it cost £361, of which 50 is VAT, so about £310. We've had brake pads, we put a new battery in it, oil filter, air filter, and oil somewhere here, yeah, oil down the bottom there, so a full service. We put new auxiliary belts on this because they were squealing as well, so new battery, new auxiliary belt, brake pads, service. Now obviously if you are flipping cars with the kind of margin these have got, there's a few things there you could get away with not doing. I'm not sure all that was needed MOT wise. That a lot of it was advisories, and obviously you don't necessarily have to service them before they go out the door. But just because I got it at auction without a very big margin, it's not going to go out any less standard than the rest of my vehicles. Let's have a quick look at what they needed to do. They needed to renew the battery, secure a loose earth lead, renew the engine oil filter, air filter, front brake pads, fit a near side tyre, and renewal. All auxiliary belts. So do 3 auxiliary belts. Woo. Someone's getting a cracking little car here. This is going to go up for $2,995. Again, you can get them cheaper. You can get them cheaper, but are they going to be prepared to that standard? We've got an advisory-free MOT and a service, and nothing to do on it for 12 months. It's a really clean, tidy car. Like I said, we've gone through it throughout, so we're going to make very little money out of it, but it'll be a cracking little car for someone. Also got the RAV4 back. Haven't got the build yet for that. They wanted me to go away and drive it for a bit first. I've taken it for a drive yesterday. Drives really well. Feels exactly the same as the previous engine did, to be honest. Lots of punch before it seized. Lots of punch. Lots of get up and go. They obviously did a couple of test drives after doing it. The only thing that needs to be done now is the aircon needs to be regassed, but their machine won't work. It's that cold up here. Their machine won't work at the moment, so I'll have to go back in for that. That obviously now needs to be valeted and go out for sale. Luckily, I took pictures of it when I first finished it, so I can put it up and start marketing it straight away, but it will need to come in and have another clean. That one's going up at $3,995, which seems to be roughly about the average. Some people, actually, I think I'm going to at $4,495 on that one until I got the bill. I'll put it at the higher price. When the bill comes in, I'll decide if I can do it at $3,995. But somewhere between $3,995 and $4,495 seems to be the going rate on these at the moment. Obviously, with the new engine, it had a new service on it as well. It's got the advisory free MOT, so that's going out with the advisory free MOT and a service and a new engine. Now we also, look, this is how cold it still is up here. Still got all this snow on the ground. It's been here for days. So the other car, slide, and he fell over. Other car we got in back was the Kia Sportage. That's been down with the Motorworks boys. I drove that all about yesterday, came in this morning. I really am liking this Sportage. I really am. So obviously I've driven it back to back with the Discovery. Now obviously the Discovery's, a much more expensive vehicle, but the gap isn't as big as you'd think it might be, to be honest. It's not. And whether I'd spend the extra money or not, I do not know. I've still got the panoramic roof, I've still got the heated seats, I've still got the leather, I've still got the reversing camera. I can't think of any features really that the Land Rover had that this hasn't. Obviously the Land Rover is just a bit bigger and a little bit smoother, a little bit plusher. But no, I mean realistically, this does pretty much all the same. With the 1.7 diesel, felt just as punchy. Yeah, I'm really enjoying driving it. So yeah, got it back from the Motorwork boys. What did we have done to that in the end? So they did an MOT, carried out an interim service, replaced off fronts, trap rod end, did the tracking and replaced a near side front lower ball joint. So we had the oil filter, oil, sump washer, brake. They did clean down the brakes, bless them. They always do that. I noticed that down there. They always strip the brakes down and clean them. Tie rod end, lower ball joint, did the MOT. Total bill for that £322, with £46 VAT, so that's going to come in about £280. So this is the one we got from, we didn't get this from the auctions, we got it from the main dealer Part Exchange Yard, so this will go up for sale. Now I can't remember what the price for this one is going to be. 2014, 100,000 miles, obviously needs the mother of all cleans now. But as I said, yeah, really been enjoying driving this about. I've locked it. I said to my missus actually, I said, if you get in that and drive that next to your Jeep, I think you're going to want to swap the two over, but I'm not going to suggest it because that means I've then got to resell the Jeep as well after just spending £500 odd having a cam belt done on it. And obviously we've still got to clean up the Sanyong and get that up for sale as well. And the Chevy Spark needs doing, and the 107 needs doing. Obviously that just needs tarting up because it's got a long MOT on it already, but it's going down. It's booked in more for its safety check. Excuse me. Cougar. I don't know I'm going to get around to doing anything with the Cougar. I might trade it out. As I said before, it's got that DPF light on it, but it drives really nicely. Now, some of you noticed the rev counter flickering and the ABS lights flickering, which you've told me means that the panel needs to come out and go off for resoldering, which having done that on other jobs, it doesn't seem to, other cars doesn't seem too hard a job to get it out, but I just don't know if I'm going to have the time, so I might offer it out trade, and if it's still here in the new year, then we'll get onto it. I'd rather focus on the small cars, and I would like to do the micro for you before Christmas. It is absolutely brassicy, hence why I use rubber gloves when I cleaned the Discovery before it went out this morning. I literally had to clean the car like 3 times, once to get the snow off, once to get the ice layer off, and then another time to get to the actual paint beneath with warm water. But obviously now cleaning stuff down on this here is turning it into sheet ice as well, because it's -5, so it's still freezing. The water is still freezing on the ground as I'm washing the cars, and the reason I've turned these back around the other way is so the sun coming down can melt them off, because it's done the other side already. So I think I'll leave it till later in the day to do that. I've got pictures of the S2000 done, so we'll get that up for sale now. Pretty much everybody I've spoken to says that I'm well underpriced in that, so I think I'm going to put it up at $3,995. That's fly out the door, isn't it? $13,995 on that, with its fresh service, advisory free MOT. Again, that's all set for 12 months for somebody now. The only thing I think I'd do if I was owning it is put a new hood on. It's getting a little bit tatty in some places. About 700 fitted, I think, the hood. And if I wanted to mint refurb the alloys as well. But again, like I said before, I think I'm better off selling it at a lower. But with that all done, I think it's probably a 16 grand car for about £1,000 more work. I think it's probably a 16,995, at least 15,995. Looking at the prices around, so I think if you had a particular type of dealership, you could ask even more. But yeah, I think, again, I've explained before, I'd rather, the market with it perfect is this big. The market with it needing a little bit of work at a lower price is this big. So that's the way I tend to go with these things. Right, kettles on. One other thing to say I need to do today, and it's a tip to all of you that have been doing car flipping recently, is get all my tips together, as in my tips for my suppliers. So I'm going to take cash down to all the mechanics that work in the garages. Probably more in favour of Moores at the moment. Obviously, they've done the most amount of work. The Motorwork boys have been fairly new. I've also got a pile of boxes of chocolates as well to hand out to sort of people like the posties and stuff like that. So yeah, but cash tips for the mechanics, because they're the guys that are really helping the business stay going. They keep moving stuff around, and these things go a long way, guys. They go a long way when it comes to showing your appreciation to people this time of year. Goes a long way with keeping the business running smoothly. They're going to prioritise your stuff. They're going to do you favours, and it's just a case of just getting out there and showing people you appreciate it. So you never know really what they're into, so just stick some cash in a card, and it'll be much appreciated. So we've got to get that done today as well. Goodness me, guys, I've just found this in the Kia paperwork. So compare my invoice with Moore's. What was it? 300 and... where was my Moore's one? £361, 62p for brake pads, battery, oil filter, air filter, tyre, sump seal, belt kit. So they put the new battery in, they did the earth lead, they did the engine oil filter, air filter, front brake pads, near side tyre, belts, and it was £361. Check out this quick fit invoice. Holy moly. So an MOT check and adjust, front adjust, I don't know what that they did, ball joint, trap rod end, tie rod end, handbrake adjustment. £403. £403. I had like a tyre in there, an oil filter, an air filter. What else did I have? All my belts done. That's horrendous, Bill. Absolutely horrendous. £429 on the Ignis. £429. That was a kick in the teeth. So I had to do the rear springs, which I supplied. They were direct from Suzuki. They weren't cheap. So there's another, 150 quid or something on top? Something, I forget exactly how much. Had to fit a new catalytic converter. Obviously had to do the headlamp adjusters. Had to fit those. Yeah, so we're in £40 off of the VAT. We're in £380 on the Ignis plus the cost of the springs. Ploughed quite a lot of money, and I've just dropped 200 quid into tyres on it as well. That Ignis is not making me money. Yeah, and these are all my invoices I need to book out today against everything. So Merry Christmas, James. You're spending money at a rate of knots big time. But at least no one can say I skimp on my cars. One thing I can never be accused of is doing the minimum possible to get the cars out for retail. As you can see here, everything gets done. It's getting done by professionals. And the cars are really going out in a state where really nothing should need to be done for the next 12 months. Obviously, they're old cars, so I can't guarantee that. But that's why you're paying a premium over a private sale. Oh dear, just gone to move the Chevy. Can you hear that? I think I know what that is. Easy way to solve it. Stops when you depress the clutch. And starts when you release it. So that is a clutch release bearing. So we have to get the gearbox out to change that. And when you're doing that, you might as well put a clutch in, mightn't you? So, but we've got enough margin to do that in it. Obviously, it's going to make it look like you could make very good profit now, make okay profit. So That's the really thing I only have to do on Chevys is the clutches, and you know every car needs that. But if we're going to put a clutch in it, and there's a lot of ice on the ground, you know what we might as well do. Yes, I'm a child, but I'm doing a service because when they come back to use the car park, they want it clear of ice, don't they? Time for a new chair. Mine's doing my nutting. I'm so tight, I've got to the point where one wheel's broken and the piston is broken in it, so it doesn't go up and down properly. So we've treated ourselves. I shouldn't refer to myself in the third sense. I've treated myself to a chair. Just arrived. Snazzy office one. Not sponsored content. I just need a chair, so I just ordered one. Let's get it together. Note how it says, please don't open with a long, sharp object. That'd be alright, wouldn't it? Oh, there you go. It says I don't build anything on this channel. I've got to put my own chair together. There we go. Beautiful. That's what we needed. Oh, that's better. Get editing now. So we've got someone threatening to come and see the X-Trail this morning. I haven't moved it for a couple of days. Took quite a long time to start. Worried me a little bit. The guys down the garage said it'd taken a little while to start when it'd been sitting around for a day or two. So I got out the old Top Don BT 300p tester because I didn't want to assume the worst for no reason at all. It's charging normally, and the actual battery tested as good. But when we did excuse the blooming pheasant in the background, when we did the cranking test, it came back as low. Now this battery, I don't recognise the brand. It looks a little small for the tray, and like I said, I don't recognise the brand, so I think it might be worth investing in a better battery. You guys in the comments tell me, are you aware of this Napa at all? It's a 760 78H 12 volt. So diesels tend to like big batteries, don't they, as a general rule, I think. So yeah, comment down below, give me your tips on that. So the X-Trail sold. What a classic sale that was. So the chap came along with his grandfather, who's a farmer. You know what the farmer's like. He was an absolute legend. He did give me a laugh. So he absolutely tried to hammer me on price. Got it up for 10,750. Now, accepted that there are a couple of advisories left on it because Motorworks didn't know I go advisory free on my car. So there was a little dust boot cover needed for the lower arm, and the tyre needed to be done. So it was going to, well, it doesn't need to be done. It was an advisory for wear, but I can't on the edge, cracking, damage or wear on the edge, something like that. I honestly can't find it. I've been on the inside and the outside of the tyre and I can't find it at all. Anyway, so he tried to hand me down a price. I said, look, the car's £300 less than Auto Trader, because Auto Trader said it should be 11 and a bit, and I had it for 10,795. He tried to bid me at 10,300. I said, seriously, you don't have that kind of margin in cars to be able to give that level of a discount. He said, oh, well, I'll write the check out now. And I'll write you a check out now. And you can take that to the bank straight away and you'll be sold. I said, I can't do it. He said, well, I'll have to go and look at the other one I like the look of, he said. And he said, I'll have to walk. I said, that's no problem at all. I'll shake your hand. There'll be no hard feelings. He went, really? I went, yes, I can't do it. So I said to him, the only way I can let you have it cheaper is if you give some stuff up. I'm doing it with a 6-month warranty and I'm going to go back down and get the advisories done. I said, I've just had a £330 service on it. Oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, coolant, everything. I said, I could have just done like an oil and filter change. I've done no service on it at all. And then that's the first thing you need to have got done with the car. I said, so, I can only take things back out of the car again. I'm going to give you a 6-month warranty. Do you want a 3-month warranty? No, I want a 6-month warranty. Okay. I said, the only thing we could do is say that I don't go down and get the tyre done, because the only way to take that off the advisory is get the tyre replaced, but I don't think the tyre needs to be replaced. I said, get the dust boot done. I said, so the only way we can get it cheaper is if we go ahead with it. He goes, well, let's do that. Well, you know, he said, at the end of the day, we want both tyres replaced at the same time anyway. I said, well, you would do, wouldn't you? You wouldn't do one. So he said, we'll go away and do that and get the dust boot done. You know, what price can you do then? I'm not going to do his accent anymore. And he said, so 10.4. And I was like, no, I can't do 10.4. I said, it's not going to cost me that much to get all that work done. I said, look, at the end of the day, you've got to leave me enough margin in this car that if there's a problem with it, that I won't run away from you. I'll get it done. Because I did say at the beginning, I said, oh, by the way, I have moved it in this morning, and from very cold, it was slow starting. I said, I think it might be the battery. Obviously, it's -5 up here at the moment, and it's been sat for a week. So, you know, something to keep an eye on, but I'll look after you if it does, you know, turn out to be more of a problem. So I said, you know, if I'm gonna sort things out for you, you need to leave me enough margin in the car. He said, well, yeah, we'll have to go off and have a think about it now. He said, or I can do a check now. He kept getting flashing his checkbook out in front of me. I thought, I can't remember the last time I saw a check. But he did make me laugh. And so we went back and forth. And I figured, well, take it back down, get the tyre done, get that done, probably in a couple £100. So I said, tell you what I'll do. I'll do it for you for 10.6. So, no, 10.4. We negotiate back and forth. At the end, I let him have another £50 off, so 10.550. And he takes it as it is. But I almost gave him the money off for the entertainment factor, to be honest. He did absolutely crack me up. I said, you're like £600 less than Auto Trader. I said to him at the beginning, I said, tell you what I do. You know, he said, I'm a farmer. I must get a discount. I said, tell you what I'll do. I'll put it back up to the Auto Trader recommended 1100 on the computer, walk back in again, and then hand me down, and I'll give you that discount off. He was absolutely brilliant, entertained the hell out of me. And yeah, we did the deal. He's giving me a check. Now, the only trouble with that is my banking system won't allow me to bank the check. It's too big. So now I've got to hop in the car and go downtown and bank it, because the lad was saying, please bank the check as quick as you can, because I want the car as fast as I can. So we'll go and do a bank transfer. You can have it straight away. And his granddad was like, no, I don't do banking online. I don't do anything online. I don't do computers. He said, you have to go and pay the check in. So... But at the end, after all of that, we were just having such a laugh together, because we were saying, I feel so bad now. He says, he's got a car and you've got my money and I've got nothing out of the deal. I was like, no. I said, you haven't. I said, you're going to have to get some counselling, aren't you, mate? It was very, very a good bit of fun. I've probably given too much of a discount away, but yeah, like I say, for the entertainment factor alone. Anyway, that's probably going to be the end of this video, because I need to race off now and pay that check in, don't I? Not ideal, because I ideally would spend the rest of the afternoon getting stuff done, but my bank closes at 4 o'clock, so I don't have a lot of option. But and this, again, it would have been nice if they could just pay by bank transfer and take the car away there and then. But so now I've got to keep it in here in the nice and dry. I'm not making any progress cleaning the other cars, by the way. The snow is still so thick on the cars, and they're so covered in a sheet of ice. It's taking ages to clean anything. So yeah. But I did say I was going to have a chilled out December, so I'm not going to stress over it. You know, it is what it is. I've sold lots of cars already. On this one, I think we're making around about £1,100. So bear in mind, ideally I'd want to make more than that, ideally on something this big that could have the kind of bills this could have, and the sort of value of about 10.5 grand. But don't forget, we took this in against the Discovery. We bought the Discovery for 6 and sold the Discovery for, we took this plus £500, so this only owed us 6.5, something like that. We didn't really do anything to the Discovery. So over the two cars, we're probably, I'm lost with my maths now, we're probably into 4k across the two cars. So that's not been, but that said, there still could be, I mean, it could be that it needs new glow plugs. It's not got any warning codes on it. Could be that it needs new glow plugs. Could be that it needs, I say, a new battery, and I'm looking online, a genuine battery's like 220 quid. So there could still be money to spend out, and that's why I always say the profits sound nice at the beginning, but don't forget, there is, it's not your money in your pocket till 6 months has passed, is it? And the Land Rover is still out, isn't it, under warranty at the moment, under that 6 months, so we've got potentially 2 cars out under 6 months. Anyway, we'll see how that plays out. If you want to know how that plays out, make sure you're subscribed. Costs you nothing. Have a little look below. Are you subscribed? You'll get notifications when the new videos come out. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, because that will recommend it to other people. Anyway, I best get off down the bank. Thanks, as always, massive thanks for watching my ramblings, and I'll see you again soon.